What's going on, everyone? It's Marcellus back with another video. We got to talk about Luna Classic because so much is going on with Luna Classic and it's going crazy. So we're going to talk about some technicals and some of the stuff that the community is talking about in Luna Classic. So definitely hit that like button and subscribe. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section and let's get straight to it. So before we get straight to it, actually, let me talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and start doing live streams as well for Luna Classic, just like how I do for Baby Doge. So we're going to kind of try to do both of these because Luna Classic is going crazy. And I made a prediction that was temporarily true, but then it became false once Luna started to pump. I was like, look, Luna's probably going to do a little bit of a pullback. I'm going to wait to get it in. I'm going to try to get in at a lower price. And it did end up going back down, but not for too long. Actually, if you look over here when I made my video, it was on September 1st. So if you go all the way back here to September 1st, Luna Classic was actually pretty high, and that started way up here. But then when we went back down, that's where I was really trying to get in at, but I missed it. I missed the pump. I was trying to get back in on this. I knew it was going to pull back because we're at our resistance areas. So I was like, look, I'm going to wait till it pulls back, guys. I know it's going to pull back. It has to pull back. Check out the video from the 1st of September. And it did. It pulled back such a good level. And I'm really mad because if I would have got in right around here, I would have huge gains. But see, the problem is I was trying to get in on Luna like around here because look, I was like, I'm not going to buy all the way up around at 2.9. I'm really trying to get around 2.2. And that's where our support was. Really, I was saying around 2.4, 2.3. I was looking at this support, but we went down to the support below it. But the reason why I wasn't able to get in on Luna Classic on this little pullback here is because of what happened with my exchange. I'm probably going to talk about this more on the live stream tonight. I'm going to be doing a live stream tonight, so watch out for that. It's probably going to be really late, but hey, we're not going to get no sleep tonight. But look, this is really what I wanted to do. I was trying to trade on a certain exchange, and this, I'm not going to call out the exchange, but you know, it has high fees. So the maker fees would have been like $900 to $1,000. The taker fees would have been like $900 to $1,000 because I was trying to do a really big transaction on Luna. I'm like, look, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till I get it onto this other exchange where the maker fees would be $100 and then $200 for the taker, or 100 and then 100 for the taker, being complete for $200 for the fees. And I would have made a substantial amount of money. Like I really would have, but I just couldn't do it because my money was still clearing and said so exchange. I'm not going to say what exchange. I don't want people to try to hack me or scam me, but I was trying to do this. But hey, I missed the jump. But hey, to all the people who got in on that pullback that I mentioned, big shout out to you all. I'm going to try to do another prediction here. So if you all want to stick around to the end of the video, definitely do it. If you made it this far, then you're definitely going to make it far in the crypto world because a lot of people in crypto have a short attention span. But let's talk about this. So yeah, like I said, you know, my previous video, we had a good prediction, but then it went right back up. So the pullback was right, but then we had an immediate pump afterwards. I thought it would have went down for a little bit longer and I didn't have enough time to get back in. But anyways, let's talk about what we could be doing now. So first of all, look at where we actually topped out here with Luna Classic. We topped out all the way up here at this resistance area. This red bar is supply and demand or less demand. This is where our resistance is. So we topped out all the way up here at about 5,800, 5,900 really. That's what I seen it at, but 5,800. Let's just keep it there. And then we pulled back to our support, and we're actually hovering around this. So this support is minor support around 4.8. Luna has the possibility of dropping back down to 4.4. So that's really what you want to watch out for. Watch out for 4.4. I know it says 4.8 right here for this little bar, but that's minor resistance there. We have way more demand over here at 4.4. Bulls in control the 24-hour market, control by 100%, obviously. But something else you want to look at is the oscillator for Luna Classic. So when you look at the oscillator down here, this oscillator is a huge telltale signal about what's going to happen. So it shows that we were overbought here, but the buying slowed down, which indicates that it's a bearish movement to the downside. And look, you can see over here, overbought. This was way overbought. We had to pull back here, so we had some selling. But then our next purchase area was much smaller, and that was this area here. That's what this is indicating. That was much smaller. And then you can see from here how we then became a little bit oversold to showing because we went back down to that support. And then we had more buying here on the oscillator, but that buying is way smaller than the buying back here. So it's showing that less purchasing is coming in for Luna. And remember, this is just short term. I'm going to be completely honest. Long term, nobody can predict where Luna Classic is going to go long term. We cannot predict that. We do not know where it's going to go. It could go to the moon. It could go down a little bit. We don't know what we're going to do in the long term. It's moving so sporadically that you just cannot predict what Luna Classic is going to do in the long term. But in the short term, we can kind of predict that. So we had a little bit of a pullback. And remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. We can't be 100% sure. But look, we did peak out here with Luna Classic at 5.8. And that is going to be our new peak area. And now that we hit that new peak area, it's only right that we go back down to our next support. It's kind of actually what happened back here on September 1st when I made that prediction. So we hit that peak and then we pulled back to our second support, not the first support, kind of like how we're doing now. Look, we pulled back to this support here, but we only stayed there very, very briefly. And now, if you go over here and you look at what we're doing now, you can see we pulled back to this first support, and then we have a second support that we're going to end up probably pulling back down to as well. So when we pull back down to this support, I don't know how long it's going to stay there because nothing has been seeming to be able to keep Luna Classic down. But hey, however long it stays there, there's a huge possibility for that it can pump right after that. Now, if it continues to go down, we could see it going down about 4.1. There's moderate activity for the whales and pretty much institutional investors. And that's really who's fueling this pump, as well as retail investors. But the institutional ones, the people with the big money, they're really feeling this a lot. And we have high activity expected here. So this is pretty much what we're looking at here. Let's go ahead and take off all these drawings that we just now made. So this is pretty much what all of this is saying. It's saying, look, if Luna Classic stays around this area and if it can pump back up to 5.3, we have a high chance that we're going to get big selling because it says high activity expected, but it doesn't say high buying is expected. It just says high activity. Could it be high buying? Could it be high selling? And with the pump that we just now got inside of Luna Classic, it only makes sense that we have a pullback before our next pump. Now, it wasn't as big of a pump as you might think, but it was a pretty big pump. So anything can happen at this point. But after having such a huge movement within the last 30 days, 422%, I'm really expecting another pullback for Luna to probably bring us back down to 4.4. Now, whether or not it goes all the way down to 3.4, I don't know if it'll go down that low. I don't think it should go down that low, especially with all the people pumping it and the burn that they're really pushing right now for Luna. We're going to talk about CZ Binance and what he said later on. But look, what I'm really expecting is for us to pull back down to this 4.3, 4.4 area, somewhere around there, 4.5, I mean, and down to about 4.3. So if we were to do that, then you have to think about what happens next. So if we continue to go down from there, we have moderate activity for the institutional investors. So we probably wouldn't see a huge pump at 4.1. But the huge pump could come when we hit that last support down here around 3.5 and 3.4. If we go down to 3.5, 3.4, it's saying we have high activity expected. What happened last time we went down to this area? Well, we had high activity. We had high buying. A lot of people bought at that area. So that's an area where a lot of people are looking to buy. And our supply and demand of more demand, which are the green areas, is actually more so in that area. So this whole area here is where you'll see the biggest pumps coming from Luna, where the major ones are really coming all the way down here from 4.1 all the way up to 4.5. And then the minor ones are really down here from 3.5. But then it becomes major once it gets back above these levels up here. So then we'll have a lot more buying coming in for Luna Classic for these areas. Now, like I said, you can't predict the long term, but you can predict the short term here for Luna. And I definitely think in the short term, we're just expect that pullback. Like I said, let's go ahead and draw this out. So then when it actually happens, we can be like, I told y'all so. So look, we pull back here and then possibly have a little bit of a pump back up to here to 4.8, right? And then we pull right back down all the way to here to 3.4. Now it also could stop here at 4.1. So these are the support areas that we're watching for Luna Classic. And then after that, it's all game from there. And you can possibly see Luna getting right back above 5.9, breaking above 6.0. And after that, I have no predictions on how much higher it will go because, like I said, you cannot predict the long term for this. It's just going too crazy, too much money flowing through it. But when you do look at the 5-minute chart here, it does show that you could probably try to, do a little bit of a prediction. And it's pretty much what we already know, 5.9 to 6.0. That's probably what you could see for Luna if you want to look at it. But looking at the 4-hour chart, it'll probably show something slightly different. So looking at the 4-hour chart, you still really can't predict where exactly Luna goes, but you can predict some supports, and we have heavy support at 3.0. So if all else failed, I don't see Luna going below 3.0 right now. It could, but I just think it'll be highly unlikely, especially with all the pumps going for Luna. So that's what we got here for the technicals. And just to kind of recap with the technicals, we do a little bit of a pullback here to about the 4.9 area, and then all the way back down to probably about 4.4, pumping back up to about maybe 4.9, maybe going back down. And remember, these ones are a big maybe down here. The lower support lines are a maybe. But if we were to go down below this support line right here, that's where those support lines come in play. So that's why we have all those supports here. but I'm really not expecting it to go below 4.1. It's just we have good activity for our institutional investors. So it's going to be harder for Luna to go down below that. But anyways, let's talk about some of the other major stuff in Luna. For one, being up 422% in the last 30 days, that pullback is expected. But like I said, I'm liking what I see here inside Luna. I'm not gonna lie, I would be real nice with my profits. I would be really lovely sitting with those profits if I was able to get my money transferred in enough time. But I wasn't able to get my money transferred in enough time, and I know that's probably the same thing with a lot of you. I'm gonna be completely honest. When you're dealing with crypto.com, it takes more than 7 days for those transfers. I'll tell you that. It says it takes 7 days for your instant deposit transfers, but typically it's taking like 10, 15 days. And yeah, it's doing it like that. So yeah, I'm not complaining. It's easy to use. I like crypto.com, and it's probably one of the better exchanges out there. It just has high fees. So I'm not trying to trade on there. I'm just trying to get my USDT and get it right out of there. But anyways, let's talk about some other stuff. So the community update for Luna Classic. So let's talk about this. All the lunatics out there. So we are excited to be bringing you the first of many monthly community updates. This was yesterday, by the way. And they said these articles will provide you with concise overview of the latest happenings of Luna and some listings and integrations for the governance, and also some ecosystem updates will be happening here. So for one, we have the staters stake pools crossing $250,000 in total value locked, offering 40+% APR. That's pretty big, 40+% APR. Just imagine that. And that's not APY, it's APR. So if it's APY, imagine getting your 250K over a year, like 40% plus for your APR. And that's a lot of money, to be completely honest. So let's just take this 250,000, multiply that by your 40%. Imagine making $100,000 a year off of $250,000 that you saved up and threw inside of there. Now look, the total value locked is at 250K. So that's not just one person. That's total value. But imagine you being that one person bringing back $100,000. So total of everyone that put in $250,000, their APY, not APR, their APY should be around 40% if that was the APY. But the APY is probably much different. We're just looking at the APR. But anyways, the Leap wallet. So Leap wallet integrated TFM's DEX aggregator as well as Stater's stake pool. And then you have the TFM. You have a lot of stuff here, so I don't know if I'm going to go over all this. I'll probably do this in a live stream because it'll probably make a lot more sense, and then we can talk about this stuff personally in the live stream. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll go over all that in the live stream. But we also have some more stuff for the updates here. The Terra governance. So we have over here 986 through 19.5 million Luna airdrop from the community pool. I was not part of that, and I wasn't part of a lot of this stuff with Terra because I missed out. But hey, I'm not going to miss out anymore. A lot of people are telling me get in on this. I was waiting for that pullback, and I was waiting for my money to clear, but I couldn't get in on enough time. But if y'all got in when I mentioned that I was going to do that pullback, y'all got some pretty nice gains. And let me just kind of show you what type of gains people probably got off of this. So 5.8 is pretty much where we stopped. Let's just put it at 5.84. And let's see exactly what we're going to be doing here with Luna if you're going to be doing a certain amount of money. So let's just say, I think typically people could drop $1,000 in Luna without breaking the bank too much. So if you had $1,000 in Luna, let's go ahead and divide it that by one, two, three, and then yeah, about 3 zeros. So looking at where Luna was when we made this prediction, and when it went all the way back down, it was about 2.2, and then 5.8 is where it peaked, and that's probably where I would have sold because that's exactly where it showed the red area of less demand, and that's when I would have let y'all know. I really should have had an update video on this earlier, but anyways, let's do this update video now. So 2.2 multiplying that by 1, 2, 3, and 5.8. So you would have had $2,600. So if you would have put in $1,000, you would have made $1,600 off of that. So you would be at $2,600 total. That's a lot of money. Now let's put this on a bigger scale. Let's put this on a way larger scale. Now let's say you had $20,000, right? And then let's just say you divide it by 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. You know, where we shouted out that support that we're gonna get. That would bring you to a lot of Luna Classic. Let's say you go ahead and you multiply that huge amount of Luna Classic by 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Your $20,000 would have went to $52,000 in Luna Classic. And that's the significance here with Luna Classic. There's huge potential for the upside, and I'm definitely in on it with y'all now. But look, I really wish I could have got in way back here because I made such a good prediction, and for it to just go down and actually hit what I predicted, and for me not to be able to put in that money, it really makes me sad. But hey, you got to get it how you live. You got to get what you can get, and you just got to be grateful with what you do get. So, anyways, Dogechain, in other words, I'm going to be making a video about Dogechain soon. Dogechain should be having its pump again coming soon, and that's why I really want to talk about it. Is how it's already went up 21%, but it's going to be going up way more than that. And look, this is the beginning. This is exactly how Luna Classic did. It went up just a little bit, and then the next day it just started going, 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 and going. Dogechain is kind of looking like it's about to do the same, but remember, I have not done the technical analysis on this yet since my previous video. So don't just go off of what I just now said. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. I'm trying to make a technical analysis on this before I even jump in on it. So I'm not jumping in on Dogechain yet. I already have some Dogechain, but I'm not putting any more in until I make that technical analysis. But technically, I do believe Dogechain is probably about to break a new all-time high soon. And that's more than 100% gains if you look at it from that perspective. And that's why I really, really am about to start making a bunch of videos, mainly live streams, because if I do these live streams, it's going to be a lot easier for people to follow along with them. But like I said, none of this is financial advice, but I'm going to make those live streams happen. But anyways, like I've said earlier in the video, we're going to talk about what CZ Binance said. Pretty much, let's just go over this all one by one. All right, so this was posted by Crypto King. It says, breaking, Binance has come out and said they don't want to tax the centralized exchange transactions for Luna Classic. That's a big problem because that's going to be where the burns are coming from. And then they said this is not what the Luna Classic community wants. If you disagree, like and retweet. Yeah, people are going to do that because people want the burn. People want those taxes, so then those taxes can get burned. So they said, we want that 1.2% burn. That's nothing. If they taxed everyone who purchased Luna Classic 1.2%, that's nothing to the buyers. It's nothing to the sellers, but it's everything to the community because as it gets burned, it's going to help increase the price and it's going to help keep the price stable once it gets enough burned. So anyways, let's go over this. This is what they said. Fellow Binanceans, this is what Binance said. The Terra community has passed proposals 3568 and 4159, which will introduce a 1.2% tax burn for on-chain transactions of Luna Classic and USTC on Terra Classic Network. Binance will review and amend the minimum withdrawal amount, maximum withdrawal amount, and withdrawal fees for Luna Classic and USTC via Terra Classic Network. In accordance with Terra governance, these proposals are being created to change the tax parameter from its current value of 0 to 1.2%, and the tax will be applied to all currency denominations currently available on chain. So the tax burn is expected to go live on this day here, the 20th of September, at the Terra Classic block height. And actually, for anyone watching this, September, mid-September to late September is going to be really big for the whole financial markets. Like around the 20th or the 21st and 22nd, somewhere around there, we're going to be getting the next Fed meeting for the Federal Reserve in America. And then on top of that, we're getting the Ethereum merge on the 15th, if it's still happening. I don't know if they postponed it. And now we're getting this. We're getting a lot of stuff rolling in. For my baby Doge Army people, we actually are going to be getting the mainnet release date. A lot of things are going to be happening in crypto. And this is probably going to be the month for crypto where you just see almost everything just pumping crazy. So I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Remember, none of this is financial advice, so I'm not a financial advisor. Anyways, withdrawals and deposits. So deposit transactions will be taxed by the Terra Classic Network before it reaches Binance. The balance will be credited to your Binance account after the 1.2% tax deduction by the network. So let's read this again. Deposits. Transactions will be taxed by the Terra Classic Network. And really, I'm going to say this on the live stream as well for the Baby Doge Army, because yes, they can list Baby Doge and no, the tax system does not affect them at all. They can list Baby Doge with our tokenomics taxes. And they're telling you that they can do it here because they're doing it with Luna Classic. They're just being slow with Baby Doge. I don't know why. But anyways, transactions will be taxed by the Terra Classic Network before it reaches Binance. The balance will be credited to your Binance account after the 1.22% tax is deducted by the network, which means that yes, they can do any of these tokenomics tax tokens, the ones like Baby Doge, 10% buy, 10% sell. They can do that, and they just now stated that they can do that. And then over here, withdrawals. Users will receive the withdrawal amount minus withdrawal fees charged by Binance and the 1.2% tax deduction by the network. Imagine if this was Baby Doge. It would be the same situation. So they can do it. So for all the people saying Baby Doge will never get listed onto Binance because of this situation here, well, here you go. And I'm going to go ahead and like and retweet this. And then I'm going to show this on my Baby Doge video to specifically the Baby Doge army. So then people can know that this is possible for us to get listed because they're already saying they're doing it. They're going to be doing it here with Luna Classic. So we're going to get all this situated. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. I'm going to be making a live stream today, and it'll be both for the Baby Doge community and Luna Classic community. I was thinking about doing one separate live stream for both, but why split it up into? I'll just put it all in one, and then we'll talk about all of them all in one. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. So definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Shout out to everybody that made it to the end of the video. Y'all are the true ones inside of crypto, and probably going to be the only ones to actually make it big out of crypto because you got a longer attention span. But anyways, like I said, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. As always, I'll be back with another video.